Now, do you remember this is the river, I don't know if you remember, that we look at it from up there, right? You know, it was here. I thought we'd have a little pop down here, just for somewhere different, different scenario. You see it's red, that's the water from mine workings, polluted to hell, probably grow an extra head or something, be standing there. But yeah, let's go and have a start to sit on this rock over here. Now we've got all that other crap out of the way that hopefully explains things, and yes, I can sometimes see things that are out of order, but what the hell, we'll shoot it, you know what I mean? So at the moment I really am having a bad day. I've been working too long hours, you know, over for months now, for 2 months, 7 days a week, 18 hours a day. My daughter was born, you know, and was ill and all this, and I've had all this shit in the meantime. Then the sites were taken down, and basically I've had a wall-to-wall crap for months. And it started to affect the art. Now I've been working on a very large project for that I started for the book, Woodbox for Essential Artists. It's the main project, and it is the bit that I really want to get spot on. Now, so far I put about 60 hours into this model, and I looked at it last night and I thought, well, actually, Wayne boy, that normally would only take you 6. So I've actually stopped and I've said, right, I need a couple of days off for me, because the trouble is you can get sort of like a hamster on a wheel, right? You end up doing the same thing over and over and over again, and it's like Groundhog Day every time you sit down. You know what you're going to do, and and of course then there's times when Vista will suddenly have an update and crash on you for no apparent reason and lose your like, sort of 3 hours of work or something, and it's never fun redoing stuff. So I'm in two minds whether to basically say, okay, let's treat this as the world's biggest dry run and start from scratch again, and hopefully to get it done a lot faster. I don't know, but I do need some time off for me, you know. So I'm on Twitter radio silence today. MSN will be staying switched off. I want to leave Skype on because I know Dave Card wants to have a bit of a chat later on about something. And apart from that, it's going to be radio silence for a day or two for me. Maybe over the weekend, I don't know. Maybe longer. I need to get my head down to some work. Need to stop being distracted by, you know, people saying, you know, this application is better than that one and blah blah blah. I'm not a one-man defence committee, you know what I mean? And to some degree, I'm sick of being that. I'm sick of being the first line of defence. I support, you know, as you know, I support Mudbox, but there is a limit. When it's affecting the work, I've got to sit back and say, right, okay, now I need some time for me. Right? I was surprised at a couple of users, you know, accusations that I set the whole hack up. They really did not understand how much that cost me. Now, when your site's had that nice big red page from Google that says it's an attack site, right? Because it's had viruses and Trojan, God knows what else, put on by some bloody hacker. That's a career-killing moment, and I honestly do not know whether my career will come back from this. It is entirely possible to kill it stone dead, and that's it. There'll never be any more work coming in, there'll never be anything else, and I'll just be sitting here like I am now, which would be a shame, because I've given a whole lot to the Mudbox community, and before that the ZBrush community, although they do forget that, the amount of stuff I give to them as well. Maybe, you know, from time to time it's nice to think I deserve a bloody break, you know what I mean? But it does seem sometimes, you know, the harder you work, the less breaks you get in life. But you don't do it for the breaks, really, you do it because you want to. You know, so I suppose I'm really contradicting myself there. But I know what I mean. Although it's probably not obvious to everybody else. See how much time we've got? 6 minutes. But yeah, so I've been worried about the idea of this model that's not working, because it's the sort of thing I can do falling out of bed, you know, as a rule. Yeah, there's a whole lot of sort of models in the scene, or should I say, a ZBrush would call it subtools, right? There's a lot. One of them was because a lot of people said, well, I've never seen it used in more than one mesh, like, well, basically because like I'm the only bastard doing the videos, right? And sometimes I'm going to do them in a bit of a hurry before one of the two kids wakes up, and I don't really want to be putting out a 5-hour freebie, right? I've also at some point I will be putting a DVD out. Now I am planning a very short limited run for the end user event. It's a one-off. It won't be getting sold online. It's just basically the ground up wave 1. Because a lot of the guys there won't have used Mudbox before in their life, and it also helps me to have it spending money. It is not a full-length release. There's been a lot of interest in a full-length release, but I've got to be somewhat careful. I've got to check out the legalities, because orders put it on the area. Although I sign nothing, I've got to make sure that I wouldn't be breaking any laws by releasing my own stuff as DVD. I know it sounds daft, but some of the corporate side works in all companies. So, but yeah, at some point I'll put a DVD. I'll put more than one out. But there will be times, I've always said, where I will close the door on the free stuff, or the majority of it, and say, right, that's it. Now you know it's time for somebody to start paying me some bloody money. Because I'm not going to give everything away for nothing. Like last night, I was had to do a quick video for a lad working at Weta on Avatar, which is quite cool, right? It's very cool doing that. I won't deny that. It's sort of, you go, yeah, well, that's nice, you know. Don't get any fucking money for it, man, but it's, you know, it's nice thing, little clip and fame sort of thing. But yeah, let's just have a quick look at this time. I suppose one thing I forgot to mention before is some people sometimes misunderstand the way that I portray myself. Now, I'm a good salesman. I can sell sand to the Arabs, right? I'll freely admit that. And I am very good at selling myself and making the best of what I've done. Which is why, if you read the About Me section of // and the things I've achieved, I phrase them in a way that makes it sound like, you know, it's fucking hell, this is amazing. But remember, this is aimed towards people outside of the industry. You'd never phrase it like that for people in the industry. This is for people who are hiring, right? And it's no good hiding the light under a bushel when somebody's about to hire you. You've got to make sure that they know what you can do, and make sure they think you're the best thing on two legs. So yeah, there's nothing wrong with self-publicity. I don't go out of my way to court it. To be quite blunt, it arrives every single time I do a free video, and I can knock 5 of them up a day, no problem. So I think, you know, that proves that side of things. I didn't. So in a roundabout way, what I'm saying is, those that accuse me of this hack being nothing but self-publicity, I don't need to do that. Alright? I do not need to do something as stupid as that and cost myself 7 years of work, code, images that I didn't have anywhere else of early models. I think there's all but about 2 of my first handful of models I ever did have all gone now, because I had to delete the whole off the server. No, that's too much of a price to pay. I think some of this is actually jealousy, to be quite honest. People are getting a little bit jealous. They're getting sick of Wayne being sort of the visible Mudbox name. And I said on the area, I said, look, every single Mudbox user could do what I did, but they didn't. I put Mudbox and its user base before me. That's the difference. To some degree, do I regret it? I regret the fact that now it's starting to bite me on the arse, that the users now think that they've got a right, some of them, a small minority, to take the piss. Yeah, sometimes does annoy me, but you know, I made the bet on lying it. Right, we're nearly getting the end of part 2. I will do another part 3, which hopefully this time will be a bit better than the last part 3. And we'll try and talk about normal things and not offend 3/4 of the planet this time. Can't promise anything, mind you, because, you know, I'm just one of those sort of dudes, right? But I will be trying to draw a line, to be honest, under the whole Pixologic thing, because it was getting too much of a focus of these bloody things, and it was never about that. Yes, I have seen the underbelly of Pixologic, you know, and a number of other firms. I've seen how all sites do business, and there's no such thing as a clean businessman in 3D. That's all I'm going to say. So I'll leave that side of that. So unless anything particularly strong comes up, I'm not going to bring it up again. Now, I know I've said that before. Let's hope this time I actually bloody stick to it. We'll see. Anyway, I'll see you in part 3, right? 3rd part. This is the part where I'm not going to whinge at you, honest.